My name is George Pearson, and this special Photoshop Elements video is part of a series that I have on doing photography techniques for wedding photography. You can see a few examples in here from the different videos. Now, all of these are using images that are available free on the internet, and I have a link in the description for you to download the videos if you want to work with the same images that I'm using in my video demonstrations. Please subscribe, click the like button, and of course always share on Facebook, Twitter, or wherever. I really appreciate that. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with the video. In this Photoshop Elements wedding photography video, we're going to take a picture like this, just a basic picture, and we're going to give this picture something a bit more interesting, create a different style for it. Right now this picture is not that interesting. We just have the backs of everybody's heads, not that much going on. You know, it shows an important aspect here, but again, it's not that interesting. This could be used just in a photo album, you know, a wedding album, but maybe if we add a bit more style to this, we can make it a little more interesting just because of the style. So what we'll do here is we're going to convert this image and make this into an old-fashioned look. And we'll do that by adding in some noise into it and a vignetting effect, and then changing the color and giving us an old-fashioned image look, which we then can use again someplace else with other pictures and be a bit more interesting than it was originally. Okay, let's see how that's done. Now, because we'll be working on the image itself for a few of these steps, you want to make a copy of this image. So take your image, drag it up to the new layer button just like that. There's our copy. Hide the background. That's our original. We've now saved that, and this is just a safety so we don't accidentally do anything with that. In case I mess things up here, I can always go back to that one. The first thing we want to do is we want to add in some noise on this to give it more of an old-fashioned look. And that's done with a filter, of course. Up here, filter and noise right there. Add noise. Easy enough. In here, we have some options. We have a uniform or a Gaussian option, and we can go monochromatic or not. The default is just Gaussian and no other settings in here. I found that works out fine for me. The preview up here shows you the effect on your image. If you don't want that preview, just uncheck that, and we can then zoom out a little bit, and you can compare over here. You can actually, you know, pull it around like that. You can compare the look here to the look over here if that's not selected. Let's now bring the amount up a little bit. You can see there we're getting some of that effect in there. If I click on preview, there it is on top of the image. Now, how much you use in here really depends upon the look that you want, how old-fashioned you want. You'll go too far, it gets like that. Just a little bit is usually all that's necessary, just so that kind of gives a bit of an older effect to this. Now, the monochromatic does that. It's a little harder, as you can see, a little harsher. The uniform is a little more even. I kind of like the Gaussian, just a little bit of Gaussian here, maybe about 20% or so of that. We can leave it without the monochromatic because we'll be colorizing the whole thing later on anyway. So there we go. There's our noise. We've added the noise in. Let's now do a bit of a vignette around this thing. And the vignette is done with another filter. That's the camera distortion here, the correct camera distortion filter. This has a tool right here, Vignette, that is designed to allow you to lighten up dark corners if you had a vignetting problem happening because you had a lens shade or something on the camera. It was picking up a little bit of that lens shade effect. So we can, you know, for that, if you need to lighten your corners, you just pull this to the right a bit and it lightens those corners up and can get rid of that effect. But we also can take it the other direction and put in a vignetting effect. And that gives it more of an effect of an old-fashioned looking camera. So there's our vignette. You can control the midpoint in here, a little more midpoint. Notice how the vignette kind of backs up a little bit. If I bring this down, it comes in further towards the middle. So you can just, you know, control that to get just the look that you want. Maybe a little bit to the left on this image. Helps that effect of being an older style camera where the lenses weren't quite as good and the light gathering wasn't quite as good, and get this darkening effect. So there we go. There's the vignetting. There's before and there's after. You can see right here, little preview button. So there's before and after. The rest of these controls in here are for fixing lens problems and stuff like that, which we don't need to worry about on this image. So choose OK. And there's that darkening effect. You can see why I did this on a copy, because of course we have changed or modified the actual image. You don't want to do that on the original. Alright, now we need to add some color in here. I recolorize this, and we'll do that with an adjustment layer so we have some ability to go back and make changes later on. So layer, new adjustment layer right here, and then hue saturation. Just choose OK. It gives us a hue saturation layer right there. In here we can colorize this. So right here, click on colorize. There we go. We've now given this a color tone, and you can then adjust the value of that tone by sliding this across. And then just choose the color that you want. I want kind of a sepia tone look, which would be in here somewhere. You can control the saturation right there and the lightness. I'm going to bring it down just a bit. There we go. So a little bit of adjustments on that, and there is our old-fashioned look on this image. Let's just go ahead and we'll close this down. There it is. So there's the original, and there's our old-fashioned look, and I think the old-fashioned look has a nice look to it. It's a lot more style to it. Now, you can choose different colorations. There are two basic colorations that are standard for old-fashioned looks. One is this sepia tone look. The other is a duotone look, and that's simply a variation on the hue saturation. Let's just do it one more time here. I'll hide the background. Okay, one more time. Come back to the background there. This is the only one that's showing right now. So one more time, layer, new adjustment, layer, hue saturation, choose OK, colorize, same steps. This time pull this over into the blues, and over in here somewhere is going to be your standard cyanotone or your duotone look. So just a variation on the hue adjustment, and then we can tweak the saturation and the lightness to get more of that old-fashioned effect. So there we go. There's the one, and there's the sepia tone. There we go. There's the cyanotone. You can double them up, but as you can see, it doesn't really do a whole lot of good there. So that's how to come in and create an old-fashioned photo look from an original. And we used in this discussion just 3 standard tools. Let me just show those to you again. We used, let me get back onto my layer. There we go. Okay, filter and noise and the add noise. That's what we used to add in the noise effect in here and keep it fairly subtle for a nice clean effect. That was the first one. The second thing we did was the camera distortion, right there, correct camera distortion, and that was to give us that vignette for our dark corners. And then finally we did an adjustment layer in here with the hue saturation to give us the colorization and that sepia tone look. So there we go. That's how you can take a standard picture and turn it into an old-fashioned looking picture. Thank you for watching this special Photoshop photography project video. Don't forget to subscribe so that you will get first notice of new project videos in the future. Just click on this link right here where it says subscribe here. You can get all 12 project videos in this series along with 26 special videos demonstrating the tools and techniques that I used in these projects by clicking on this link right down here. And then thank you again for watching this training video.